Aries' face was a battered, bloodied mess on what was once a silky canvas of perfectly sculpted flesh, a testament to the artistry of his creation. He spat out a tooth before wiping the sweat from his brow. He almost collapsed from the pain of the internal bleeding and the pressure of his cracked ribs as they pushed against his organs. But as he felt his mind sway towards unconsciousness, the agony began to fade away as his scars started to rapidly rejuvenate until his face was restored to its usual radiant splendour. The cuts and bruises were gone. The blood from his face had disappeared, and his broken bones were all but healed. He cast his shield and sword into the thick snow before him. The light from the moon bounced off their ivory heraldry, gifts crafted by his brother Vulcan. There were no finer weapons forged in the Imperium, yet the Lord of Rams could not foresee that such items would one day be used against one of his own, against his own family. His golden white curls cascaded across his face like a babe, and his gentle blue eyes filled with sorrow as he gazed down towards a brother he truly loved. How? How could it have come to this? The second son tried to reason. His breath slowed within an instant as his mind came to terms with what he had done. His pale white face returned with its natural rose-like quality as he looked at him, truly looked at the man he once called brother. The Wolf King coughed up a thick pool of blood, his heavy breath clawing for air before slumping on his back in a mass of burnt fur. Blackened blood stained his power armour, and the once proud Lord of Fenris's regal mane and flowing blonde hair appeared shaggy and dishevelled.
Well, this is it then.
Lehman's strained voice cracked, taken in the serenity of the quiet moonlit sky, as if it were the last thing he would ever see. His tone was one of relief, almost joy to finally die, as snowdrops fell gently onto his face. Aries dropped to his knees in mourning.
I didn't mean for this to happen, brother.
His voice was full of anguish as he bowed his head in shame.
I couldn't control it.
Russ smirked.
But if you could, I would be the one kneeling by your side. Out of all our brothers, you were the one I felt the greatest kinship with, the one I respected and loved the most, the one most like me, a wolf in sheep's clothing.
The Wolf King chuckled weakly at the Lord of Rams. Aries smiled through his tears as his gaze met his brother's.
An unlikely friendship, the wolf and the ram. But it explains why I never cared for your jokes.
The Wolf King roared with laughter before violently convulsing up bile and blood. Even now, at the end, he could still make him laugh.
Enjoy yourself, Aries. I'm not dead yet.
A single tear rolled down Aries' cheek.
I know. That's your problem, Aries. You're always telling jokes. But I never see you laugh,
he said with a peaceful smile.
I'm glad it ended this way. I did my duty, even though I lost. My most beloved brother continues to live.
Lehman's face pinged with anger.
And our father, be damned for ordering me to do it. And I forgive you, brother.
Russ's eyes looked out to the snow-filled sky, his face awash with the times they had spent drinking, fighting, and conversing together.
Do you remember the first time we met?
I do.
I remember thinking how serious you looked. And then
Lehman stifled a cough.
And then you made me laugh,
Lehman said fondly.
In that moment, I knew I knew there was more to you than meets the eye.
The two brothers shared a smile.
What was that comment you made about horse's bald head?
Aries smirked. I said, how was it that our father was able to create 20 demigod-like sons, but wasn't able to give you a hairline?
That's right.
Lehman erupted with laughter, almost choking on his own blood.
That's right. And you've brought me joy ever since. Even now, as I'm dying.
Aries gripped Russ's hand. You're not going to die, he replied through gritted teeth. Lehman's face turned from a gentle smile to a stern grimace.
Remember a time when I was a better brother?
Russ whimpered as the life faded from his body.
I will remember you as a good brother.
Aries stared at Lehman's cold, dead eyes.
Russ? Lehman? Brother?
Tears streamed down the face of the second as he mourned the loss of his favourite brother. His lifeless body was an emotional scar that not even Aries' accelerated healing could remove. He tried to close his eyes to block out the grief surging through his perfect mind, but when he opened his eyes again, he was somewhere else. He was in a room made for sparring. Lining the walls were spears, axes, swords and shields, while the adornings of great wolves hung all around him. In front of him stood a man too large to be a mortal, bearing an axe, razor-sharp teeth and dirty blonde hair. His ice blue eyes glared back at him. It was his brother Lehman, and he was on Fenris. But how could this be? His father had warned him of such visions. Was this a warning of things to come, or things that might be? His mind reeled from the ordeal as he strained to return himself to the present. But as vivid as the premonition once was, it quickly began to fade from his mind until he could recall nothing of the event, except a deep fondness and melancholy for Lehman Russ. His eyes narrowed on his brother as he returned to his normal, stoic demeanour. He noticed his brother's gaze was fixed upon him, a curious stare, one filled with questions.
Are you all right, brother?
Lehman asked as he lowered his axe.
Shouldn't I be?
Aries replied with confusion. Lehman examined Aries meticulously.
For a moment there, it seemed as though you were somewhere else.
Well, as you can plainly see, I'm right here in front of you, Aries quipped. Lehman rolled his eyes.
You know what I mean.
Brother, if you don't think you can beat me, then just admit it.
Ha ha ha. Funny Aries. It is impossible for a sheep to defeat a wolf.
Yes, but this sheep has horns, Aries replied with a confident grin.
Horns or no horns, a sheep is still just a sheep.
Lehman smirked. Aries sheathed his sword before lowering his head. I suppose you're right. I can't hope to beat you. A wolf beats a sheep every time.
You see, brother, I knew you would see sense.
Lehman gestured for his sons to bring some Fenrisian ale. Just as a wolf cannot hope to defeat a lion. Lehman's expression darkened.
You think the lion could defeat me?
Well, wolf beats sheep, lion beats wolf.
I suppose a particularly cunning sheep could beat a wolf.
And I suppose a particularly cunning and far less condescending wolf could defeat a lion.
You've made your point, Aries. It was just banter between brothers.
I know. which is why I haven't cut you down where you stand.
Bravo, how you continue to make me laugh.
Lehman's sons arrived back with their ale. The two brothers grabbed a tankard each. Lehman took a large gulp.
Now, tell me, do you think the lion could take me?
That depends, Aries said with a smirk.
On what?
On how much ale you provide. Lehman grinned.
Yes, and then I shall have the truth of it. My boys, bring me more ale.
Lehman paused as he looked at Aries.
You've been gone too long, brother. I miss being with a brother that I can out-jewel and out-drink.
Go easy on the praise, brother. Otherwise it might be hard for me to come back.
Two brothers!
Lehman cried as their tankards clashed together.